Welcome to the Jamila Adams Experience podcast. It's the place to be if you're a woman over 40 who wants to feel inspired, empowered, and heard. Jamila Adams, your host, is an entrepreneur and best-selling author who will discuss how to find joy and happiness in life's challenges. So come and join the experience.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining this week's episode. I'm so glad that you're here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also to share the podcast. We definitely want to build a community. So this week's topic is something that I know resonates not only with me, but it is with you. And it's how to stop letting people live rent-free in your head and relinquishing animosity. Have you ever found yourself ruminating over a negative interaction with someone, replaying the scenario in your head and feeling this urge of anger and frustration each time? If so, you're not alone. It's common for us to hold on to negative emotions and to allow them to occupy our thoughts, essentially letting people live rent-free in our heads. But what if there's a way to relinquish this animosity and free ourselves from the burden of resentment? The truth is that harboring animosity towards others serves to weigh us down. It drains our energy and it affects our mood, and it can have an impact on our physical health. So how can we let go of these negative thoughts and create a more positive and peaceful state of mind? Here are some suggestions that you can put into place. I have been putting them into place, and I find it is very freeing to let go of things and people and events that have caused me to feel anger, frustration, animosity towards them. And it's something that I've been working on for a while now, because I have been on this journey, the spiritual journey of relinquishing things that no longer serve me. Henceforth, stop letting people live rent-free in my head. So the first tip is practicing self-awareness. And it's one of those things to allow us to relinquish the animosity when we become aware of it, when it arises. We need to notice the triggers that prompt these negative thoughts and emotions. By recognizing these patterns, you and I can begin to address them more effectively. If you find that you're around someone that you know is just not someone you want to be around, then you have to put it in your mind, I can't allow these feelings to overwhelm me. And I refuse to let this person dictate my flow and how I think and feel. So when you practice self-awareness about why these triggering feelings are coming up, it's going to be easy for you to relinquish them. Another way to stop letting people live rent-free in your head is to cultivate empathy. Believe it or not, putting yourself in that other person's shoes can allow you to develop empathy. Consider their perspective and how you can say, hey, look, I understand that you're feeling some kind of way because your dog died or your mom is putting you through the ringer. And I understand why you're projecting those negative thoughts and emotions onto others. But you're not giving them a pass. You're just creating empathy because you now understand why they are the way that they are, or why they choose to act or say things that are a little, let's just say, out of pocket. Let's be real here. It's kind of out of pocket. So the next step is to release the need for control. Accept that you cannot control the actions or words of others, but you can control how you respond to them. By releasing the need to control the situation, you can also release some of the negative emotions. I find that, say, if I'm driving and someone cuts me off, I've learned that it's not always good to yell back at the person. I mean, it may feel good at the time, but in the long run, say if you have your kid in the car or something, and now they see that you have no self-control, that you will yell at someone instead of just assessing what happened and just saying, okay, it is what it is. This person cut me off. I still need to go where I need to go and be done with it. Now, going back to the other step about creating empathy, that person who cut you off may be trying to race home because they just found out that their mother had a heart attack, or they're trying to race to the hospital because their son just broke his arm. So you don't know exactly what the scenario is, why that person created the offense, but just know you can't control what the actions of that person was. You can only control your response. So the other way to allow yourself to stop letting others deliver it free in your head is to practice forgiveness. Learning to forgive and letting go of animosity is golden. It's not about excusing the behavior of those who offended you, but permitting yourself to stop carrying the resentment. Remember, forgiveness is for your benefit, not necessarily for the person who wronged you. And we have to keep reminders of that. I know from my past experiences, I've had tumultuous relationships, and I do accept accountability for my part in why things went wrong. However, I can't control the actions of others. The only thing I could do is forgive them and move on. Because for one thing, I'm not going to let you weigh me down because you're going on with your life. That person who offended me is going on with their life, and they've probably even forgotten what they said or what they did. So you have to remind yourself too to let it go, because they have already moved on, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to spin it. So you have to forgive, so that way that weight is lifted off of you. And the other point too is focus on gratitude. How can releasing animosity and letting go of people, how can you focus on gratitude? Because if you redirect your thoughts towards what you're thankful for in life, you're shifting the focus to gratitude, and that can help diminish the space occupied by negative thoughts. Going back to my tumultuous relationships, I have beautiful children out of it. So I'm grateful for my children. The relationships, it was a lesson learned. And I had to move on from it. But I show gratitude for my children. And that's how we have to look at it. There's always going to be a positive effect out of something that's totally shitty, but there will be a positive effect about it. And then finally, engage in self-care. And now you're going to ask, okay, well, why is self-care always important? It is important because it allows us, like focusing on gratitude, to take our mind off of the negative emotions from what just occurred. Taking care of your physical and mental well-being is crucial in releasing animosity, whether through exercise, meditation, seeking support from loved ones, the ones who didn't hurt you, and prioritizing your self-care can help you maintain a positive mindset. So whenever you find yourself stressed out, or you just had an experience that just wasn't the best, go for a walk. Take a 5-minute meditation break. Clear your head, so that way you've learned from the experience, but you're not going to be weighed down by the experience. So ultimately, relinquishing animosity is a process that requires patience and self-reflection. It's about reclaiming ownership of your thoughts and emotions and creating a more peaceful, eternal environment. By practicing self-awareness, empathy, forgiveness, and self-care, you can evict those living rent-free in your head and make room for positivity and harmony. I look forward to the time and the day when I can just look at all the things that occurred in my life, good, bad, and different, and say, I learned from it. I may not have liked what occurred while it was happening, but I learned from it, and it made me a better person. And it allowed me to relinquish the things that did not serve me anymore, like being angry at someone who could care less, and just build on my strength, my spirituality, and learning to move forward from there. So I challenge you to recognize those who are living rent-free in your head? And how can you evict them? How can you use these steps, these suggestions to get that person out of your head? I definitely would like to hear from you. So if you can, if you like, leave me a message. Wherever you see where the podcast is. In the show notes, I believe my address, my email address is there. You can follow me on the socials. And just let me know what your thoughts are. Are you letting someone live free in your head? And if so, how are you going to evict them? So as always, I want you to be inspired, be inspiring, be encouraged, be encouraging. But most of all, I want you to be you, and I'll chat with you next week. Take care.
Do you have a passion project you want to bring to life? Let Jamila Adams at your service help you. Jamila Adams at your service was created to assist businesswomen, 40 plus, by bringing their passion project to life through website design and marketing. Visit JamilaAdamsAtYourService.com and sign up for a consultation today. Remember, you have a voice, use it.